Hello. This is an impromptu live. Well, actually, I did announce it, but not very long ago, so it's pretty impromptu. So, I am going to talk about 5 confidence tips. I'm just hopping on for probably like 15 minutes because I need to make dinner. But I wanted to get on here. So, 5 confidence tips for moms who feel like they've traded in their soul for motherhood. So, you might hear some background noise as well. We're going to go with it. Okay, so here's some 5 quick tips. So tip number 1 is to get healthy. So feeling your best can really help you feel more confident. And a way to feel your best is by getting really, taking good care of your body. So that includes like getting enough rest. So make sure you're getting enough sleep every night. Things like having a good diet. So whatever that means to you. Some people are plant-based, some people are keto. Like I'm not a dietitian, so but just like really prioritizing your health. Maybe looking at like times a day that eating is good and not good, so maybe not before bedtime, and what you're eating as well. And then like getting enough water, so that's something that is really important that I think a lot of us maybe aren't super good at. I started drinking half of my weight in ounces in water, if I said that right, about a year ago, and I haven't had a sinus infection since then, and I used to get like multiple sinus infections every year, so that's amazing. And then like I don't really get sick much anymore either, so that's made a huge difference for me. And then, so yeah, number 1 is get healthy. Number 2 is to, you need to get your family to help out. So if you're doing everything, you need to stop. So what does that look like? I actually made the Balanced Family Schedule and released that today. So you can DM me for a link because I didn't make a pretty link for it yet. But or on Facebook, I can put a link in the comments. I don't know if I can do that right now. Anyway, it's a schedule. So you can see like who is helping out in the family and who maybe is slacking. So a lot of times this is going to be, between you and your partner, but the kids also have work to do and they can help out as well. Even like if they're little, it's good to like get them, going and started with all that. Then the schedule also is good at looking at how you're spending your time. So if you're spending a lot of time on serving everyone, maybe you can realize that like you need to do some things for yourself as well. So there's kind of 2 parts to the Balanced Family Schedule. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that it's really important that you make sure that everyone is helping out around the house. So when I initially did this with my partner, I was pretty, I felt like I was doing everything, and really I was doing almost everything. And that was like something that I had created myself. It wasn't his fault. It was just like what I had done. I thought I wanted to be, I had wanted to be a mom for forever. And so I like did all the chores and took care of the kids. And I was like, don't worry, I got this. And then eventually, I was working also, and I felt like, wait a second, I feel like I'm doing a lot more than you. And so I wrote down every chore that I could think of that was, something that either one of us could be doing. And we had a really hard conversation. And then we went through the list and marked some as, we took turns. So it was like we went through the list and he took a chore and then I took a chore and then he took a chore and then I took a chore. And so then it was much more balanced. And some of the chores were like once a week chores, and some of them were ones that get done every day. and that was okay. I just needed to like unload a lot of work onto him. And it worked out really well. And we did have a rule around it, is that the rule was that you couldn't complain about the other person not doing their chore. So it was, it was an adjustment. And I remember when my mom and my sister came to visit, and it was not very long after we had started doing this, and my husband Dan had taken on the role of cleaning the bathrooms, and so they weren't clean, but I was like, well, it's not my job, so I'm not going to do it. And so I remember telling my mom and my sister, like, sorry about the bathrooms. Like, it's not like a bomb went off, but they definitely weren't like super clean. Anyway, so, and you can obviously like discuss that at good times, because maybe it's not always a good time to bring that up, like, you never do your chore. That sometimes happens, but, we strive to not complain about the other person not doing their chore. One tip on this is that it is not a good idea to share a chore that depends on the other person's chore. So like when we first started, it was my job to make dinner and his job to do the dinner dishes. And because of the way it's worked out, that didn't work very well, because then he felt like, you don't really clean as you go, because I'm pretty messy in the kitchen. Also, my job was to do like the breakfast dishes, so that didn't line up very well. So I would say go with like certain areas. If you're going to split up chores like that, I would do like one person has the chores that are related to this maybe area of the house. I wouldn't suggest alternating days either, if it's like a certain room, because if one person doesn't do it one day and then the next day it's your turn, it's like, well, now I have to do yours and mine, so just be conscientious of that. So tip number 3 for finding your confidence for moms who feel like they've traded their soul in for motherhood is identify your needs. So this can be pretty hard, because I feel like maybe you've forgotten them, and I know that I felt like that a little bit when we first had kids. I felt like even a little bit after getting married, like I used to know what I wanted, and I used to know what my needs were, and then I kind of got lost that a little bit, and so that I think can really help you like feel better about yourself when you know what it is that you want and need. So like one way to do that is to figure out who you were before you had kids. So what hobbies did you enjoy? What did you like doing? So maybe you were running. Maybe, you stopped when you were pregnant and you didn't pick it back up. Maybe you used to, go dancing a lot, and now that you have kids, you don't prioritize that anymore. Like, what is it that is really important to you, to like light your heart up, light your soul up? Like, what do you like to do? Maybe you like to play games. Maybe you like to knit. Like, what is it that really makes you feel good? So think about that, and then you can, tell your family, like, this is something that I'm making time for, and I'm going to be doing that. So the next tip is to make a plan. So if you are going to be making some changes in your life, there's people around you who totally rely on you, and that's a part of motherhood. So, your kids, and then a partner if you have a partner. So it's really important to tell them what you are going to be doing. Like the changes that you're going to be making, because they're used to you being a certain way. So I've made this mistake where it's like, I'm going to start, getting up early in the morning, but I didn't actually tell anyone this. And so people were like, oh, you're up, like, let's go, and I had to explain, like, this is time that I'm setting aside for myself. So if you're waking up, then you need to go find something else to do. So communicating to your partner and to your kids can, depending on how old your kids are, can make a big difference in how well that goes. And so then the fifth tip is to prioritize your own needs. So really, this kind of goes along with making a plan, but besides just making a plan, it's like making a plan that you are going to, how do I say this? Like putting your needs up higher on the plan. So there's like the kids and the partner and, the house and the dog, and then maybe you're down here. So maybe you need to be up here. And maybe you're not always at the top, maybe your kids are at the top, maybe different times of day or different times of the week or even different times of the month. It's going to vary, but like if you can put yourself up higher on the list, then you're going to feel so much better about yourself. So I really just want you to carve out some time for yourself, and that is going to make you feel a lot better. So talking to your partner about, I want to do this thing for myself, and I would like you to help me find time during the week to do that. So, like for me, I have Monday nights because that's the day that worked out for us, and I get a few hours to myself. I don't do bedtime. I can just go cuddle up and read a book, far away from everybody, or I can go meet a friend for a glass of wine, or go see a movie, whatever I need to do, and then I really have that time for myself. So I would say most of these tips can be kind of like hashed out if you get the balanced family schedule. So again, I'll post a link to that on the Facebook page, and then on Instagram, since I can't put a link, I don't think. Actually, I'm going to take a look, because I feel like I've seen. No, I don't know. No. There might be a way to do it, but I don't know what it is, because I am not Instagram savvy. Anyway, you can message me and I'll send you a link for that, because it doesn't have like a quick little URL. Or does it? It might. You know what? I'm just going to take a look here, because I think it might. Now you get to watch me. It's funny how you can hear Rose. Nope. Balanced family schedule. We'll try. Nope. Okay, I don't know what it is. Okay, well, anyway, I would go ahead and just message me, because I don't know what it is. All right, well, thanks for listening, and if you have questions... Oh, Diana, you said something. Oh, yeah, totally. Communicating with your family. Yes. So prioritizing yourself does set a great example. So, actually, that's a funny story. So when I told my daughter Mom is going to be having, maybe not a funny story, but a good example. Mom is going to be having Monday nights to herself because Dad has Wednesday nights, Mom has Monday nights. She was like, well, I want my own time too. And so I was like, well, that's great. Like, what do you want? And so we figured out that she wants play dates. Like, she's very social, like most kids, and or maybe some kids, and she wants these play dates every week. And so she actually has like Friday afternoon after school play dates. And so each week we try to like organize someone to come over so she can have that play date. So it was a good example for her, and it did start a good conversation around that, I think. And you know, just like anything, your kids will get used to it. So they might at first say like, I don't want you to go, or I don't want you to have this time for yourself. But like, I want mommy. But it's good for everybody if you can show them that, you know, you are prioritizing yourself and you're not just there to serve them. So yeah, like I was going to say something else about that, but now it slipped my mind. Okay. All right. Have a good night, everyone. Bye.